Hi, I'm Lori Fleckett of Soltar Solutions, and I'm here with the Amazon West, and I'm very event teaching people, awesome people, how they can make money on Amazon. I'm here with my co-presenter, Lisa Cortez, and she's really got. I'm so excited to have Katharyne Shelton here. Katharyne Shelton is of Blue Sky Create. She's come up with 2 amazing products that she's going to tell us a little bit about. Katharyne, can you give us a little bit of your story so we can share that with the participants and also with you at home?
Hi, Laurie. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, so I've been selling on Amazon for, I think this is my 4th year. And I started out, I heard you telling your co-host a bit of my story earlier. But I started out a few years ago. I was really desperate. I'd moved to the US. I found myself, I got divorced. It was sad. I had 3 children. And I needed to figure out something to do. I mean, I pretty much spent, I guess, my 20s studying and just going to college and like sucking up knowledge and ideas, but it wasn't very practical. And then I stumbled on the idea of eBaying for a living, and I moved into that. And then I discovered Amazon FBA, and that kind of changed everything for me. My whole model for the first year was really about retail arbitrage, about bundling products, putting products together. I used to go to like Big Lots and the dollar store and go and buy products. And I figured out, and I know you've been talking a bit about bundling. I figured out that when you put products together, it increases the value of those products for buyers. If you do it intelligently and you do it creatively, it can really increase the value of all the products for buyers. And instead of buying one product from you, they'll buy several at once in a bundle. And that was kind of the model I came up with. And I did that for about a year. And I was doing other things as well, thrifting and yard sales and just all kinds of different ways of selling online. And I started putting what I was doing on YouTube and talking about it. And from there, we grew a Facebook group and another Facebook group. And now we kind of have like just an awesome group of people who I call them treasure hunters, the blue sky thinkers. And they're people who are figuring out how to sell online, how to make bundles with their products, how to do just really cool things and sell on Amazon really creatively. And now, as you say, we've just launched our new Blue Sky Create course, which is all about white label, private label, but in a way that's very accessible to people. So it's kind of been this crazy curve. Like, I never intended to do this exactly. It just, I've kind of floated from one thing to another, and this is kind of where we are now.
Well, that's one of the things about Amazon that I find so interesting is it's an evolution that kind of takes its own, moves in its own direction, and you don't really know where it is, but as you can go with it and have a great time.
And I see people doing amazing things. Like, people come to me and they say, how do I sell on Amazon? What do I do? Or they'll be like, I think I've just got my first shipment ready. Can you just help with the measurements or with how I ship it? And they'll come to our groups and we'll help them out. And then the next thing you know, 3-4 months later, they're like, yeah, I sold out of all my bundles. I sold out of everything. And you're like, yes, this is amazing. And then what you see is like a regular person. Like, you could have, I have a lady come to the group, and she'll be doing her first shipment. And then a few months later, she says, I got a #1 release on Amazon. I got the #1 new release in my category. I got the #1 bestseller in my category. And you're like, what? You just started selling a couple of months back. And here's the thing, there's all these big corporations selling on Amazon, all these big brands, all these big products. And yet one person can figure out how, if she has a good idea for her bundle or her new product, she has a good idea, she puts it into action, she gets the keywords right, she gets the listing right with nice pictures and nice description, you can totally take on the big brands, the big corporations, because it's an amazing platform. If you understand the platform, you have the ideas for your products. Like the little guy can get to the top on Amazon, and I keep seeing it over and over again with people's coloring books, with people's bundles, with all sorts of things. Super successful, and I love Amazon.
Katharyne, let me just jump in here because you brought something up that I really, you can put something into your bundle. What would those things be? What are the things that you're looking for when you're outsourcing that you believe are going to increase the value of your bundle?
Okay, the first thing I would say is that everything you put in a bundle should make sense. It should make sense together. It should be complementary. That's Amazon's rules and policy. They say your bundles must be highly complementary. And also, it means that people will buy it. So, like, no random things. Everything should make sense together and be themed. And there are a lot of ways of finding a theme between products. And I've kind of been really thinking on this lately. I call it like the intersect. Where do these products intersect? What is it that draws them together? And this is something like we've really been kind of exploring for our white label as well. Like what makes sense together? How do you make something like really intersect? And so, I mean, the obvious things are something like shampoo and conditioner for your hair, or frosted cake frosting and cupcake cases. The problem with doing those is that you get lots of other people will jump on board. They will sell well in the beginning, but then you'll have lots of other sellers who are like, oh, that's easy, I can sell that. So I recommend getting a bit more creative. And what I would say is find products that look great, especially in the pictures. I mean, I found plush toys at the dollar store that look awesome. And if it's like, I mean, it's Easter at the moment, you put together like a really gorgeous bunny with some, with eggs and, oh, and one thing, I gotta tell you this, in Walmart right now, they have big plush Easter bunnies and they look super cute. And they have 2016 on their paws. Last year in the clearance, buy them all up. That's what I did last year. You can buy them all up. They have the year on their paws. Baby shower gifts. You can put them in a baby shower.
What? I'm sorry, we missed that.
Oh, well, they're pink and blue bunnies, and they have 2016 on their paws. You can turn them into baby shower gifts. You put them in a baby.
Yay! Girl, you got it.
Like it's just about the ideas. It's just you gotta come up with a few ideas, be smart with products, and you can take on the big guys.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. You have just given us a great idea. That's wonderful. So does anyone have any questions about bundling Katharyne that I can ask her?
What would she bundle with that for a baby shower gift?
What would you bundle with that for a baby shower gift?
What would you normally give to someone who's just had a baby? I mean, you can go a few directions. You can have little blankets and towels and like little diapers, or cream, like I don't know, like nappy cream. What do you guys call it? Like diaper cream.
Diaper cream.
Yeah, like I would find something. So here's the thing. Like, you don't want anything to look cheap in the bundle. So I would maybe consider finding like an organic or a luxury cream. And you've got to kind of look at the different items in your bundle and say, okay, this looks really nice. This is kind of more functional. Like a blanket, you can probably get a cheap blanket that's very cute and very nice and does the job. But you spend a bit more on the cream or on the lotion, and that kind of brings the value of the blanket up. So it's kind of, you've got to look at the whole, like the gestalt of the bundle, and say, how does this look together? Does it look like a valuable, nice bundle? Yeah. And some things you can save a bit of money on, and other things you probably need to invest a little bit more to bring the whole bundle up.
Great advice. Anything?
How does she plastic bag? How does she make that bundle look attractive enough without making it a basket?
So Katharyne, we're looking, Lisa has a question about how you bundle that makes it look attractive, but you're not reaching over into the bed.
Okay, now that's actually a really interesting question, and it's where Amazon gets a little bit funny. Amazon say that a bundle is just literally products that you could buy retail in their retail packaging, packaged together in a plain poly bag or a box. So for bundles, I would totally just say put it in a plain poly bag. Put your Amazon label on it, and customers are fine with it. Actually, they're not, as long as you don't sell it as a gift basket or say this is coming as a packaged gift set, they're pretty much fine with just receiving it in a poly bag. So as long as you call it a bundle and you say this is a baby shower bundle of products, and I know some people in my group have done things like they've called them a basket starter kit for Easter. So they don't sell the basket because baskets are kind of a pain to ship. They sell, or they call it like a basket filler or a basket stuffer. And a lot of people do that. But if you get into gift baskets and making actual packaged gift sets, then you start moving more into kind of like the white label territory, which is something else we do, but it's kind of different from bundles. It follows a different line of rules from bundles.
Tell us a little bit about white labeling, why it's important, and why people, even in the beginning stages of their Amazon journey, should be starting to think about it and understand.
Sure. So it's kind of interesting. You know about private label? A lot of people are talking about private label at the moment. I've got to get into private label. It's big. I've got to order all this stuff from China. I've got to order all this stuff from Alibaba. And that's awesome. I mean, there's a huge amount of scope in buying products from My dog's snoring. I'm sorry if you can hear that. There's a huge scope in buying things from Alibaba. I mean, you can buy thousands and thousands of products, but it carries some risks. You're ordering from China. It's kind of a big investment. It's you're not sure about the quality until you receive those products. So I've kind of taken a different approach with white label. And the other thing with private label is what a lot of people are doing is they get software, they're analyzing what's a bestseller in Amazon, and then they're kind of trying to clone it or copy it and say, okay, how can I get that product from China and sell it cheaper? Now, that isn't my model. I tend to take like a ground up model. And I'm very interested in whether we can find products from US suppliers, whether we can get blank products and do something interesting with them. So I kind of had a conversation with someone last week, and they said, there's a lot of industries I wouldn't get into with private label. And I made a joke about garlic presses, because if you ever go on Amazon and you look at garlic presses, there's like I think some course at some point taught people, put garlic presses on Amazon, they will sell well. And now there's hundreds and hundreds of garlic presses on Amazon. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this would be a terrible thing to sell. But someone said, you couldn't market a garlic press now, it's saturated. I went, I bet you could. I can come up with something to market a garlic press. It's like, challenge accepted. So I said, okay, this is what I would do. Look at all those garlic presses. They say chef master, cook master, kitchen master, all of these things. I said, okay, what if you go a different route with this? What if you put it in like a little box that's shaped like a little coffin and you call it the Vampire Crusher and you put Gothic writing on it and you sell it as like a gag gift? And like, this is white labeling. I mean, you talked about wooden spoons and we were coming up. It's funny because I used wooden spoons as an example. The other day I was talking to someone, we came up with like, what could you do to make a wooden spoon interesting? Like if people buy wooden spoons from the store, they go to Marshall's, they buy wooden spoons, they're not going to come home and say, hey guys, on Facebook, like, look, I bought some wooden spoons. They want something really interesting about those wooden spoons. What are they going to do to them? Well, I found like a company that will do laser engraved wooden spoons, and they will put anything you like on wooden spoons. Now, wouldn't it be cool if you came home and you went, look, I have wooden spoons and they have like Labrador dogs on, or they have zombies, or they have like, you put images on your wooden spoons, you make them unique. And you take a boring object that everyone needs, and then you add value. And it goes back to this idea of intersecting, adding value. You add value to it and you make it something that people will buy, take home and go, this is the coolest wooden spoon I have ever seen. And what's amazing now is that I look at all the manufacturers. We just came back from the ASD trade show, and I see all these manufacturers, suppliers, and they're opening up to private label. They're saying, we will private label for you, because they want to move product. And the way to move product is to give us retailers what we want, which is unique, cool, interesting products that are going to appeal to people. And we know through the bundles, through everything else we've done, that if you add something unique, you add something exciting to a boring product, you can turn it into an exciting, unique, interesting product.
Wow, that's such a great example. It's really funny that of all the things out there, we picked one, just went through, you know, thinking about it and, you know, coming up with the concept for wooden spoons. This is great advice. I love this. Does anyone have any questions?
I absolutely have questions about white labeling. I particularly love one of our clients last week wanted to make coloring books. And that's to see a lot of people traveling. I get really antsy when I travel, and I love the idea of doing the coloring books, but I have no idea how to get into that.
Oh, hey, I can talk about coloring books.
I know you have a lot of advice on coloring books. So can you just share a few things, and maybe also, I know you, do you have a course on coloring books?
I do, actually. I do have a coloring book course, and if actually I'm giving away a month of my coloring book with the new Create course. So I've kind of brought everything in. With the new Create course, you actually get a month of coloring and bundles and another course I've done. So it kind of brings them all in together so people can try them all out. But yeah, we've been really successful with coloring books. Actually, we had one lady on my course made her coloring book, and she got into the top 10 of books on Amazon. Like, not coloring books, not adult coloring books, the top 10 books. Like, she beat everything. It was crazy. Yeah, we've had a few people who've been really successful with their coloring books. And here's what we're doing differently. So, you know, the adult coloring books has been a big craze, and everyone's doing like, okay, mandalas. It's all about these beautiful, colorful mandalas. And they look gorgeous. You go into the gift shops or you walk past them in Barnes & Noble, you say, wow, these are beautiful mandala books. The problem is those are really hard to sell on Amazon because there are so many of them. And you have to do something they're very visual. They almost catch your eye as you're walking around. So what I looked at doing with coloring books was going niche with them. And so, for example, we had someone do wine country. We had someone do, the same guy actually did classic cars. Another lady did penguin careers, which I thought was so cute. She had beautiful little penguins, and each penguin had a different work clothes on, like a police lady, and I think one was like Cleopatra. Like, they all had lovely things going on, and everyone picked niches for their coloring books. And I did one on Hollywood, and I took photos in Hollywood late at night and then turned those into coloring pictures. So everyone came up with kind of different things. So what you're aiming for is not the people who are die-hard adult coloring book fans. You're looking at people who are into those niches. So, for example, let's say we made a golf coloring book. You're looking for someone who's into golf and has heard that, oh, coloring books are the place to go now. So you sell them a coloring book about golf, and it already taps into their interest, and they're willing to take a look at it and give it a go. And those kind of things make great gifts. Like, someone will go, oh, Bob's into golf, and now they've got a coloring book about golf. Fantastic. And that's where our focus has been with coloring books. We've got our own keyword software. We've got our Blue Sky Suite software, and we've used that actually to figure out what people are looking for gifts, what kind of topics people want as gifts, and then use that to make things like coloring books. And it kind of works for anything white label. I mean, if you find out that sort of golf and
So Katharyne, just give us a little bit of an insight into what is, like a little description.
Sorry, you broke up a little bit. You said what is white label?
White label, give us a little description, if you will.
Okay, so white label is taking a blank product, and it can be something anyone needs, and it could be a t-shirt, a phone case, a mug. Those are kind of boring examples, but it could be candy, it could be coffee, it could be makeup. You can get white label a whole makeup range. And here's where I kind of differentiate from private label. I say you create your own brand from it. You create a whole brand and put it all onto that blank product, and you make it something very different, very new and interesting. And to me, it's so exciting that you can. I mean, when I saw that you could get blank makeup that you could white label and put your own brand on it, I was like, yes, I could be a Kardashian. This is like the coolest thing. I can make my own line of makeup. And it's what I suggest is just looking for something really different and new to do with it. So you take a blank product, you package it, you label it, you brand it, you sell it with particular artwork. And we kind of keep a very wide brush with it. On the Create course, I actually cover a whole bunch of products. I cover in depth. I go into crafting kits, jewelry, makeup, coffee, candy, some others. And books. We have a whole thing on self-publishing using CreateSpace, coloring books. And there's more you can do other than coloring books. I mean, you could do puzzle books. You can, it's wide open.
So Lisa has another question. Katharyne, thank you for answering that.
From a business perspective, going from, beginning in art, how do you balance all of that? How did you go from, learning, I guess, that business process? Because one of the things I think that stops people from growing or popping up is because from arbitrage to your next step, which is either wholesaling, private labeling, or now white labeling, which I'm totally in, how do you adjust the time for that to sort of start looking to that next step? And I know that was a very convoluted question. So Lori, can you translate what I'm trying to ask?
So I think what Lisa wants to know is kind of like first to get these things all done, you're working in Amazon, you're selling in Amazon, you're teaching in Amazon, you're creating products in Amazon, you're doing all these things. But then the next part of it is what will flow from selling on Amazon to moving. How do you flow? And at what stage do you feel you are right now?
Okay, so
you're selling on Amazon.
Yeah, and I think everyone has to find their own path. This is something we've kind of thought about a lot because, I mean, there's a lot of selling platforms, there's a lot of different products to sell, there's a lot of business models. And I think this goes back to what you were saying at the beginning. I think you said with Amazon, you have to keep moving. And I found it's really important to be flexible. Like as I say, I've been selling about 4 years, and my model has been flexible all those 4 years. I've done thrifting, I've done arbitrage, I've done bundles, I've done white label, but it's all been very organic. And what's happened is I've tried something in one way, like I've tried retail arbitrage, and I said, okay, these products. So maybe I was selling party cups and party plates. I'm like, these are selling well. Oh, what if I bundle them? And then from there, you're like, okay, there's definitely a demand for, I don't know, I sold robot Valentine cards. I looked at these robot Valentine cards. It's like, okay, there's a demand for robots, like toy robot things. From there, you can move into having like robot soap or robot toothbrushes, or like once you find an audience, and you realize there's a demand for that audience, or if you take like something like a religious group or a dietary group, like I don't know, like Jewish food or like gluten-free food or something like that. And once you find that audience that want that product, you can kind of expand out into other areas. Okay, those like gluten-free matzo balls sold well. So what if I make a gift basket with all those products in? Like, does that So it's always been very organic for me personally. I've found I've just kind of moved from one thing to another. Like, okay, this is working. What if I expand outwards? What if I scale it up? And that's what I would say to anyone. Once you've found something that works, first of all, dig at it, like do more of it, and then scale it up, scale it right up, like do more, and then expand outwards. Where else can you go with that? How does that intersect into other products you can sell? How does that intersect into other target audiences? So just keep going, keep growing, looking for opportunities, and exploring, and be flexible.
So I have a question for you. What part does video play in what you're doing with Blue Sky Create, what you did with treasure hunting? What part is that video playing?
You know, this is really interesting. Someone asked me for a quote yesterday about Amazon. They have a new show called Style Code, and they're doing like QVC with their videos. It's kind of interesting. They're selling their new line of clothes with a TV show on Amazon that's interactive, that people can vote on things and say, I love these handbags, I want to buy these handbags. They can leave feedback. To me, that was amazing because it kind of summed up where we are now, like 2016. What I see is that the platforms for socializing, for selling, for marketing, for entertainment are all kind of merging. And especially, I mean, I look at my daughter, and the people are, you can put a buy button anywhere. You can put a buy button on Facebook. You can go to PayPal, get a buy button and put it on Facebook. You can interact on Amazon. You can leave feedback and reviews. And what I see is all these platforms are kind of moving together. And people are using YouTube. I know several of our coloring book people made YouTube video adverts. And I mean, to me, I just did it for fun. I mean, I was a theatre student. I love performance art, and I just wanted to make a video and connect with people. I was kind of on my own, and no one else was doing what I was doing. So I made a video to say, look, this is what I do. And it really did start connecting with people. I had more and more people jumping on board. And then I opened up a Facebook group, and everyone just came in and started interacting. Like our treasure hunting group is just so busy, and it's been just such an amazing community. But I've seen people do it with all kinds of things. I mean, if your product is dogs or dog food, if you make dog food or pet collars or dog beds, I've seen people making Facebook pages and they get 40,000 likes on their Facebook page. Like once you have that Facebook page with all those, all that audience, then you can offer them things that they'd be interested in. You can offer them t-shirts with I love my husky dog, or like you can make candy with Labrador faces on. Like there's so much you can do if you have an audience. And I think in 2016 it's all about the audience.
I have a question coming in. What's the question?
David wants to know that since they're beginning in Arbitrage, what would she give advice to how they would be flexible and creative in Arbitrage into that would direct them?
Great question. Okay, David has a question that is, he's starting right now in Arbitrage. When you're starting in Arbitrage, how do you be flexible and creating eventually in the direction of the white labeling?
Oh, I can answer that. Stay away from the big box stores. Like go and find interesting stores in your neighborhood, the international stores, specialist stores. Like you've got to go where the crowd aren't going. And the problem with like the big box stores, if you go and scan Target, Walmart, there are a lot of people scanning in Target and Walmart. They're hiring VAs. They've got software monitoring those big box stores. If you go to the mom and pop stores, like the local music store near me had like sheet music on sale. Go somewhere like that. Go to a little mom and pop sports store and look for the clearance bin. Like look where other people aren't looking. Keep your eyes open for clearance And if you go to like international stores, I mean, we have one called North Park Groceries up the road from me, and they have amazing things. They have like these beautiful chocolate boxes and like Turkish Delight, like real proper authentic Turkish Delight, and it's like $4 a box. But they're in beautiful sort of hexagonal boxes. So you could totally sell that on Amazon, and no one's selling it. No one's selling that brand, that product. So you can go somewhere like that and find beautiful products. And then once you've found those products, and one of the places I started with was Daiso, which is a Japanese store. And everything's $1.50 there. So I love Daiso. But if you find something like Turkish Delight, if you get it selling on its own, then why not bundle it with like Turkish coffee or with like cups and teapots? And then once you've got that successful, you can look at making a white label teapot and or coffee pot, and like you just grow it. You find what works, you explore, you find, but you've got to have some confidence, like confidence in what you're doing, what the stores you've found. Don't be too distracted by other people saying, well, I went to Target and I got this cartload of things. If you've gone into your own like next door little local Turkish supermarket and you've loaded up on Turkish coffee and it's going to sell, brilliant. That is a better thing to be doing than getting 20% on a Lego set that everyone else is selling. Like, you find the opportunities that everyone else has missed.
Great answer. Thanks so much. So does anyone else have any questions? Because I want to be cognizant of your time. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, go ahead.
I have a necklace that's pretty expensive, and it's a little diamond heart pendant, and I can't sell it. Is there something creative that I could?
Okay, one of our participants says that she has a diamond necklace that is a heart necklace with a diamond in the center type of thing.
It's black, blue, and white diamonds all around the heart.
Black, blue, and white diamonds all around the heart. And she
That's
wants to know if it's something that you would bundle it with that would help it sell.
It sounds gorgeous. The big problem there is if it's real diamonds, then it's fine jewelry, and fine jewelry is really, really hard to sell on Amazon. You have to get ungated, and it's the one category that's really, really, really difficult to get into. So unless it's like something you're seriously going into, I would say don't get into selling fine jewelry on Amazon. There's probably a better platform for it. So that's one thing I probably wouldn't bundle. However, if it's not fine jewelry, if it's, and I mean, I found a lot of, like, you can find cool jewelry in Walmart. Like, they have like My Little Pony necklaces and things. Those are things you can totally bundle and put in with other products. But fine jewelry, I would stay away from.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much for being, oh, how do people get in touch with you, Katharyne?
Oh, you can find me in lots of places. We have our Facebook group, which is called Treasure Hunting with Katharyne. And if you're interested in our courses, the new Create course is at blueskysweet.com, and that actually includes 30 days of all our other courses, our coloring books, our bundles, and my Facebook Magic marketing course. So it's a pretty good deal at the moment. So it's at blueskysweet.com, and that's the white label course and self-publishing, everything.
So blueskyscreate.com.
Blueskysweet.com.
Skysweet.com. Okay, and I'll make sure to put that in the show notes. So, Katharyne, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and I will make sure that everybody has a group, and we will get this video out there.
You've got a fantastic event going, Laurie. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.